Hey guys, welcome to the follow along workout for Monday, May 11th. The first portion today is going to be a 12-minute E3 mom focused on strength. For the practical version, we have 10 of these reverse lunges on each side. You could do these alternating. You could do 10 on one side, 10 on the other. You could also do like a split squat stance where you keep that foot back the whole time. And we're pairing that with 10 of these single arm plank rows on each side. The tactical version is going to use these Bulgarian split squats. Again, same rep count, 10 on each leg. And it's paired with 2 rope climbs instead of the plank rows. Second half is going to be a 20-minute AMRAP, working on work capacity here, high volume, pushing through that AMRAP. The practical version is using these bent over rows, 5 on each side with a nice straight back. There are 10 push-ups around. You can do these from your knees. You can do an elevated push-up if you have to. And we finish with 15 air squats, keeping that chest tall, driving those knees out wide. The tactical version is going to swap out these pull-ups for the bent over rows, and the rest is the same, the 10 push-ups and the 15 air squats around. All right, let's start out with the warm-up here. We're going to start with just some general chains, anterior and posterior, this down dog and up dog. We're going to start in the down dog position, walking your feet behind you, walking your hands out in front, and immediately, we're thinking about those calves. We're trying to walk those calves out a little bit, try to touch one heel to the ground at a time. We can also kind of shift left and right as we do that. Sit into those hamstrings a little bit more, take advantage of this position. It's kind of the variations we can get. At the same time, we're thinking about your chest and your shoulders, kind of opening up. We can kind of stretch the underside there, get that subscap and that rotator cuff a little bit. And again, just shifting around, breathing, working into your stretch, trying to connect with as much as you can, seeing what's tight, just doing a nice little check-in. Then we're gonna drop our hips into this up dog. Hips to the ground, shoulders are back. I can squeeze my glutes and pick my chest up, really exaggerate that lower back extension, try to squeeze my shoulders back, get those muscles involved in that opposing side, and then I can kind of shift from left to right, rotate through my shoulders. I can look over a shoulder, and I should feel the front. I should really feel my hip flexor, the front of that hip, some of my abdominals, some of your quad maybe. And then as we're shifting left and right, maybe pushing into the side of that hip. Feeling those obliques, maybe a little bit more as we shift around. Let's do that one more time. That down dog, walk your calves out, abs tight, try to really connect with the position, hold yourself in, work on the stability and connecting these different body parts, these different chains, and really being engaged in the position, not just passively letting things just kind of hang. We want to really hold it in and be in control there. Same thing here on this up dog. Our hips are low, I'm stretching up front, but my posterior chain should be lit up now. I really want to squeeze my glutes, squeeze the back of my shoulders, get my traps involved. And again, always taking these big deep breaths. Anytime it feels tight, anytime it feels tense, just trying to kind of pause in that position, take a big breath in, almost push on the muscle from the inside if you can with your breathing. And then relax and breathe out. Excellent. That was a solid 3 minutes on up dog, down dog. Hopefully your hips starting to feel a little bit warmer, lower back, calves loosened up a little bit. We're gonna drop into the bottom of this deep squat. You can adjust your feet. Again, we can kind of shift around, Make sure your ankles, your knees, your hips, everything feels in control in this position. Nothing's too tight. And again, we're engaged, we're holding everything together. We're not passive, we're not just hanging with that posture. Once we're here and we're in control, we're gonna think about rotating and reaching one hand up, pulling one shoulder back. Again, we really wanna think about activating that posterior chain. It's not just about stretching. We want the other side to be in control, and that muscle will be allowed to stretch a little bit better. So again, holding, squeezing one hand at a time. Again, we can shift around on those feet, you can adjust. Chest is tall, engaged. Breathe and try to connect to your shoulder, to your hips, your spine. If anything's tight here, maybe adjusting your stance, lifting yourself up a little bit taller, to find a position where you can connect and control that a little bit better. We're gonna work into this alternating instep. So again, we can start kind of in this down dog position with my feet behind, my hands out front. I'm gonna work, take a big step with one foot up by my hand. I'm starting with my left foot on my left hand, dropping my hips, my chest is tall. And I want to try, if I can, to keep this back knee off the ground. Again, I don't want it to be a passive position. Of course, this is a great stretch. And if you want to start with a stretch, it's a great way to warm up. But actually, again, having that active control of your joints, controlling that range of motion, and holding with those muscles on a eccentric or an isometric contraction. These muscles lengthen, and then I'm trying to still send that signal for them to contract and hold. Again, lengthened, but activated. And I can shift around in this position. Spend a few seconds on one side, spend a few seconds on the other. I can kick back in between. Whatever speed you feel more comfortable with. If you feel like you're already pretty warm, you just kind of want to go through the motions, you can pump through a little bit faster. But again, abs are in control, hip is connected, my shoulders are engaged. I'm trying to hold this position with everything together. The muscles that I want to relax are able to relax as much as I'd like them to. We're gonna lay flat, these prone pull-ups here. I'm gonna go belly down. I can keep my feet. Some people like to turn this into a whole Superman where your feet come up as well. Feel free to do that. I'm gonna keep my feet down. I'm gonna keep my heels, my ankles flexed. I'm gonna reach out on top. I'm gonna pretend there's a bar there, almost like I'm doing a pull-up. Shoulders are nice and even. I'm gonna squeeze my elbows down, point towards my hips. Chest is tall. Squeeze those lats. Really, again, try to connect to that posterior chain. I can get a little bit of my rotator cuff as I pull in. This is almost like a W. If you do Y's, T's, and W's, I can use this position down here to really externally rotate and turn on that supraspinatus. Big squeeze, chest tall. I can alternate one hand at a time. I can squeeze one side, dig in on the other, reach the other hand nice and tall. And again, the whole time I want to feel in control. I want to be in a range of motion that I'm able to hold everything. I can feel the stretch where I want to feel the stretch. I can feel that muscle activation everywhere I want to feel it. Start warming up those muscles for a little bit more intense thing coming up next. We're gonna finish here with an Rkc Plank. It's gonna be 10 seconds, big hard squeeze, everything you can, head to toe, 10-second squeeze, 5-second rest. We're gonna do that 3 times. So we start our first one here, get in our plank position. You can do this from your elbows or your hands if you like, starting in 3, 2, 1, 10 seconds. Abs are tight, my hips are curled up underneath me. I'm engaged in my shoulders, I'm squeezing my legs together, and breathe for 5, 3, 2, 1. Coming right back in for 10 seconds. I'm straight through my hips, squeezing my quads, squeezing my glutes, my biceps. Again, I'm sinking in my shoulders. 3, 2, 1, rest. We got one more in 3, 2, 1. 10-second squeeze here. Hold it. Everything's tight. Third one. We should be feeling it now. Squeeze, shake, everything you got. 3, 2, 1. And time. Very nice. to feel warm, but not quite warm enough. I feel like we need just a little bit more here to really finish this off, the icing on the cake. We're gonna have some pull-ups, push-ups, and air squats. And the second piece of the workout, the strength portion, is lunges and rows. But we're gonna kind of get some of these systems a little bit more primed and ready to go. We have 2 rounds here. We're gonna do 5 push-ups, 10 lunges, and 10 squats. We're doing that 2 times. I'm gonna go here, our first round. Nice and slow. Again, I'm still thinking about engaging and connecting through these systems, moving slow, moving together. I'm gonna let myself down and driving up. These are my first push-ups of the day. I'm not just banging them out. I'm not just trying to get 5. I'm trying to warm up my shoulders, warm up my pecs, get some synovial fluid rushing into those joints, lubricating things a little bit, bringing some little extra blood, support to my muscles, so that when it's time to push, they're already primed and ready to go. 5 push-ups, 10 lunges I'm gonna do here. Again, thinking tall posture. I like a reverse lunge. You can go forward lunge if you like. Trying to drop down right in the middle. Notice I'm not leaning forward on my front knee. I'm not back so much that I'm off balance. Everything's even. My hips are right in the middle of both feet. I drop that knee down. My abs are engaged. Everything's pointing the same direction. Again, I want to create that tension. So warm up. I want to start getting real warm. Make it harder than it has to be. Breathing, trying to connect to those muscles. Create that mind-muscle connection. We're more aware of where your movement is, what muscles are working. Move more efficiently. It's going to help you in the end. Here we go, 10 squats. Again, I can pause. I can use this eccentric phase where I'm lowering to really line everything in, make sure my position is right. It's quantity over quality. If you do 5 super slow, complete squeezing squats compared to 5 little dancing moves, you're gonna get different results. So go for the result rather than the number, I think is what I'm saying. I'm gonna get 5 more push-ups here, round 2. You're probably already done. I'm taking forever. If you wanna do a 3rd round, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for you. Again, locking those shoulders in, taking advantage of that external rotation, locking in those lats, really utilizing that stability and getting the most out of each rep. Keeping my knee nice and open here. Now let me collapse in. Nice, strong, tall posture. I'm engaged in my abs. I'm engaged on both sides. My whole foot is working in the ground. I'm not leaning on my heel. I'm not forward on my toe. I have nice balance. I'm gripping and pushing through. We go 10 squats to finish. Change up your foot position. Each one of these squats. Again, by the end of this, I want to be ready to go. I want to be primed and be able to push right out the gate. Not have to continue warming up once we start adding this weight to it. Maybe 1 warm-up round to set everything up, but I don't want to have to miss out on my workout to make sure I'm ready to go for it. All right, speaking of that, it is time to work out now. If there's anything else you need, shake some things out, grab some water, go to the bathroom, psych yourself up a little bit. I don't know what you're into. We got a 12-minute E3 Mom focused on strength coming up next. All right, so our first section here is going to be focused on strength. There's 4 rounds of these lunges, loaded lunges. You can do a goblet, squat or lunge loaded. You can hold on the side. If you really want to work on that shoulder stability, go overhead lunge. Whatever variation of those lunges you like. Body weight's more than enough. Or some kind of split squat. That's Bulgarian split squat with that rear foot elevated, dropping in there. Or if you don't have anything to set up for yourself, just a nice split squat, just hitting all those lunges on one side, 10 on one side, 10 on the other. And then we're mixing that in with some kind of either plank row, where we're dropping down here, stabilizing yourself, getting a nice base in those feet, pulling that elbow back, keeping that chest nice and tall, pulling that shoulder back as well. Really trying to focus on keeping that hand a little bit lower. We don't necessarily want to pull this to your face or to your chest. We want that lat involved in the row a little bit more, so we really want it to be more about that elbow driving back. And we're going to try to keep that keep the elbow a little bit more relaxed, so we're not pulling through your bicep quite so much. So again, pulling here, my hips are low, abs are tight, trying to stabilize. Nothing moves as this elbow drives back. My hand comes, maybe about my hip, somewhere in between my hip and my lower ribs there. Really trying to pull that back, squeeze, and let it down. And again, 10 on one arm, 10 on the other. Or the tactical version, we're working on 2 rope climbs. So if you have that set up for yourself, I'm gonna might throw 1 or 2 in my rounds here. If you don't have that set up, if you have a pull-up bar, maybe a switch grip on that pull-up bar, pull in a few different ways, maybe sets of 4 to 10, depending on how strong you are, how much you want to do. But yeah, that'd be a nice substitute. Any kind of that vertical pull would be nice. So we starting it up here again, 12 minutes on the clock. Every 3 minutes, we're hitting a new round, and there's 4 rounds for 12 minutes total. All right, grab your weight. Again, hit pause if you need to take another break. Psych yourself up. Here we go, 12 minutes. Starting out with that Bulgarian split squat or reverse lunges. Again, we have 10 on each leg. First round starts in 10 seconds. Here we go. All right. So again, posture is super important here. Foot position is super important. We don't want to let yourself be too close to that surface behind you. We don't want to, drop that knee too far forward. We also don't want it too far out. A nice distance where that knee doesn't have to travel too far forward. I can drop my back knee enough. Everything again is square, pointing forward. My chest is tall. I'm not letting this weight pull me forward here. Again, the whole foot is balanced in the ground, and I'm dropping under control and driving up through that heel. Down, driving up, breathing nice and steady. Let's be able to maintain. Again, we have 3 minutes to get this done. Starting the leg now. Take the time on the setup to make sure your position is right. That front foot's not crossed over. We're balanced and positioned enough that we can execute properly. Again, keeping that chest up. Dropping slow into control. Driving right up to the top. Engage that foot in the ground. We want to grab the ground with your toes. Really try to lock in that posture. Terrible. Man, those are never easy. All right. We got about 1:15 here. So we start our next round. I'm going to get into my rows. Get a nice base in my feet. Make sure this arm is right underneath me. My other arm is stable. Again, I'm compacting that shoulder. I'm really dug in. And it's a full pull of that elbow, pointing to your hip. Trying to keep that elbow as relaxed as possible. Trying to keep my hips down. Trying to tense up my core. Make sure I'm stable, make sure nothing moves. Got about 30 seconds. Getting going on the other side. I'm not rushing through my reps. They're controlled. And get a little reset in between each one. Make sure each one's as controlled and focused as possible. All right, just in time for round number 2. I'm going to do a lunge on this one just to give you the view of the practical version. And I'll just do a split squat on one side here with that rear foot not elevated. And again, I'm balanced. I'm now letting myself swing forward. Both knees are bending. My shoulders stay on top of my hips. My hips stay right in the middle. My shoulders and everything are packed in. That's much easier. All right. Got 10 on the other side. And again, I'm trying to create that tension through the system as much as I can. Straight up and down. Both feet have a solid base. All right, I'm gonna try this rope climb here. Oh. Let me hear that breathing. Clear those lungs. Make sure we can stay strong here. Got about 90 seconds for the next round. I'm scared to rip up my shoes, you know? The rope climbs are fun, I can't deny it. Woo! Maybe try, if you're doing rope climbs, try to climb with both legs. I think it's the first one on this side. Try the other side here. Oh, that's awkward. All right, 2 rope climbs. Trying to calm down as much as you can in between. Got about 15 seconds. Halfway through this thing. Doing great. Here we go, load yourself up. Getting ready for that split squat or that lunge. 10 on each side. I'm gonna try a different grip here just to change it up. Hold that weight down low. Still thinking about posture. Don't let it pull me forward. Again, dropping in, balance, organized. Everything is square. My hips turn forward. My knee drives out. Just want to turn into the outside of that hip. Make all those external rotators in my hip turn on. Put my hip in a better position to push out of. Again, really utilizing that eccentric. Lowering myself slowly. Pausing at the bottom. Making sure I'm pressing out of a strong position. I'm not rushing in and out. Again, my foot's far enough in front, but I'm not crowded. My back foot should just be right on the edge. And again, abs are tight. I'm engaged on both sides of my spine. right. Keeping that breathing nice and steady. I got about a minute to that next round. Again, I'm gonna jump back on these rows. Hold a nice plank. Stabilize my core. And again, a controlled squeeze, controlled lift. So treat each one like it's its own. Don't do 3 mindless reps. Do 1, reset, reconnect, lock it in. Teach your body how to move more efficiently. Move from a strong place. Don't be strong in weak places. Teach yourself how to move more efficiently. It's gonna work out better for you in the end. Hold my hips low. We got about 10 seconds here. I'm gonna finish off these last few. Getting ready for our last round here, guys. Last 3 minutes coming up. All right. So in our last round, finishing those squats or split squats. One last time. Nothing to save up for here. No more of these split squats after this, so let's get the most you can out of it. And alternating lunge. Still all those same themes apply. Rotate it in. My knee opens up. My chest is tall. Driving through my whole foot. Maintain that steady intensity. Try to calm down that breathing. All right, I'm gonna finish out with these rope climbs here. Got about 90 seconds to go. Take your time. Again, let's have some quality reps to finish this off. All right. This time I'm going to start on my weak side, on the left side for it. All right. It's just goofy. All right, still got about 45 seconds here. Set this other side. Yikes. 20 seconds to go. If you finish up those reps, take your time. Oops. Again, squeeze. We're gonna get a little rest in between here in the next section. 5 seconds. How about everybody cheer the imaginary people that could be working out right now? Let's cheer them on. And time. All right. That wasn't nothing. That was all right. So we're getting ready. Next one, a 20-minute AMRAP coming up. I'll see you in no time. All right, so the next piece here is a work capacity focus. It's 20 minutes, and it's pretty much like a Murph prep. We got pull-ups, we got push-ups, we have air squats. If you don't have a pull-up bar, if you don't have access, if you can't go to a park and find a tree to do pull-ups on, or any number of hacks. The sheet hack is the new one where you put it in the door frame if you're not able to do something like that. Hopefully you have a little bit of weight lying around, paint cans or otherwise. And we're gonna do these bent over rows, still trying to hit those lats, just a little bit different plane we're gonna be pulling through, so I can have a nice even stance here, feet just underneath my hips. And from there I wanna work into this strong hinge. I'm not letting this weight, stay this way, not letting this weight rotate me and pull me down. I'm using my stability in my oblique muscles to hold me and keep those shoulders nice and square. And I want to try to get as close to parallel as I can to the ground. My shoulders should be a little bit higher than my hips. I definitely don't want to be rounded, but I don't want to be here either, just pulling this straight up. So I'm going to try to lower my shoulders as much as I can, still keeping my back straight. And just like that plank row, I'm pulling nice and low into my core here, pulling underneath my ribs. I'm not pulling my chest, I'm not pulling my face. I'm keeping that elbow nice and tight, maybe 45 degrees, probably less than 45 degrees, from my body. Laterally, and I'm stabilized and pulling, keeping that chest tall, feeling those hamstrings extend a little bit. But it's gonna be 5 rows on one side, 5 rows on the other. Again, the tactical version is 5 pull-ups. Everybody together beyond that is 10 push-ups and 15 air squats. Again, these push-ups, go to your level. If you're a knee push-up kind of person, a lot of work can be done. If it's easier, that means you'll probably do more rounds, which means you'll probably get more reps. And that's a great thing too. That'll make it challenging in its own way. But no matter your form, make sure there's some universal things applied. Your shoulders are packed in. I'm not over rounded here. My shoulders are pulled down, packed in, and I'm using that external rotation. I'm kind of rotating my hands outward against the ground. It should stay in place, but I should have that isometric tension on the outside of my shoulders to really get those lats holding everything in from the back. And again, just pushing through there, chest down, and then right back up. Again, from your knees, you can do it elevated, you can go against the wall. If your muscles are working, they're working. So, don't ever feel bad about the type of push-up you're doing. If you're doing something, you're gonna get somewhere, and it's gonna get better. So a lot of people hold themselves back because they wanna stick to that's not the hardest one, but you'll never get there if you don't take the appropriate steps. Can't run before you walk. I don't know, maybe you can. Last one's air squats, same thing. External rotation, turning the outside of those hips on, knees should open up a little bit, chest should stay tall, and we're creating that tension. Hopefully you can drop a little parallel, but as long as we're in the right position. If you have bad form to drop below parallel, that's not as good as staying above parallel with good form. Always train good body mechanics. Lock everything in. Let's move under control. Here we go. 5 pull-ups or 5 rows on each side. 10 push-ups, 15 air squats for 20 minutes. You can set a goal for yourself as far as, I hope to get 4 rounds. That's what I'm gonna shoot for, because I like myself. I'm gonna shoot for 4. If I have some time at the end to push, then I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm gonna go nice and controlled. I'm gonna have a great workout either way. Here we go. 20 minutes of awesome stuff. I'm gonna flip in and out of the pull-ups and the rows. I'll start with the rows here, because most people right now are probably using that. And here we go. 5 on each side. Bent over row. Stabilizing my core. Pulling with control, getting that elbow back. Not rushing out of the movement. Again, trying to get my chest, my shoulders as low as I can, while maintaining that stability, while maintaining that strong back. Still keeping these a little tension up front in my abs. 10 push-ups. We do a hand release the first round, just to make sure my shoulders, my pecs, everything are lined up. And keeping my core strong, not letting my hips drop. All right, maybe I'll get more than 4. Oh, air squats here. We got plenty of rounds to get through. Let's make sure we don't, shoot ourselves in the foot right off the bat by, moving too fast, making these knees feel funny, doing something to your back. Let's kind of ease into it. We can pick up that pace, as the rounds wear on, as we find the appropriate pace to hit. But it's certainly never wise to sprint out of the gates unless we only have, a minute or 2. Again, it's important to continue breathing. I'm gonna hit some pull-ups this round. Okay. Pull-ups. I'm getting it under control, not rushing through them. All right. You may like kipping push-ups. Kipping push-ups are fine. For today, I'm focusing on going a little slower, trying to control the muscles that are pulling. Getting back into push-ups here. Again, maintain that breathing as much as you can. The more aerobic activity we can sustain, the less sugar we're gonna burn through, the less lactic buildup we're gonna have. We'll be able to kind of, maybe hit these spikes of activity. We'll be able to bring it down a little bit more in the transitions and keep everything going a little bit longer. So breaths with each movement. And big, deep, calming breaths in the transitions. Getting ready for that next exercise. Things should be feeling a little bit warmer. Should be able to move a little bit quicker. Kind of find that position a little bit easier. And again, chest up, knees wide. Coming back to these bent over rows. And calming down in between. Make sure we have the strength to hold the position. Don't just throw yourself down to get it over with. We're still trying to develop muscles. You develop muscles by working them correctly, not just by racking up reps. There's a time and a place to push through. Maybe on the squat, something a little bit easier. And keep pushing that pace a little bit more. All right, this is round number 3 for me. Coming back into these push-ups, focused on stabilizing my shoulders. Focused on breathing. Finishing off these squats. All the way back, keeping those feet engaged in the ground. Keeping your balance nice and even. Both feet are pressing the same. Both knees are moving the same. Even through our hips as well. And keeping that chest tall. All right. Always come back to that breathing. Getting ready for quality reps. So we're trying to pack those shoulders in, moving from that stable place. Try not to just bounce on your tendons and things. Back into push-ups for me. This is round before you. There gets a point where there's not much to talk about. This is really hard. And I'm just focusing on myself, trying to get through this thing. Only 7 minutes in. Feeling all right. You can do here. Again, keeping that chest tall. Kicking those hips back. Keeping those toes involved. A little bit of that forefoot. Switching up this squat. Change the focus a little bit. All right, back to rows. No rush. Again, let's make sure you're ready. Make sure each rep is strong. We're not having to rush through. Sync up your breathing with your effort as well. Again, creating that tension through the system. Dropping into my bent over row. My abs are engaged. My other side is engaged as well. My other shoulder. Trying to let nothing move as that elbow comes back. Push-ups, again, involving that posterior chain as much as I can, locking up the back of those shoulders, locking in my lats. For 10, almost halfway through here. Feeling great. Oh, how do I keep going? Keep forgetting what I have. Pull-ups, push-ups, and air squats. Kicking those hips all the way through at the top, standing tall. Use this time as an active recovery. Driving those knees out, fluid motion. There shouldn't be any kinks in the chain, anything where you're shifting around. Stuttering. All right, back to pull-ups this round. And we are halfway through in 3, 2, 1. Halfway there, guys. Again, on these pull-ups, packing your shoulders in. Moving from an active position, not passive, not hanging out. We're locked in. I'm digging inside, chest is tall. Again, no hitch in the movement. Nice smooth effort. Even if I don't get to the top, I'm really trying to lead with my chest. Squeezing with those lats as much as I can. Again, muscle activation is going to be more important, for your inevitable gains. The numbers don't matter. It's what's happening inside. All right, back to push-ups. Nice straight spine. Chin is tucked. Abs are tight. Locking those shoulders down. Again, use these squats as an active recovery. Don't be afraid to change up the type of squat. Get a little variation in there. Hit these legs in all kinds of ways. Cool. 8 minutes to go. You can get maybe 3 more rounds. Let's try that. No rush. We got 8 minutes. You're already feeling it. Let's try to maintain. Calm yourself down enough that you're in control. We're able to keep this thing going. And actively be involved in that recovery. Take those breaths, shake some things out, help that blood return. All right, getting back into my rows here. Locked in, taking my time, setting it up. Not letting that weight just fall. Lifting, letting it down. Control it, not letting it hang out at the bottom. Everything is square, even, I'm not rotating. Again, same thing with my push-ups. Taking my time, setting it up, stabilizing, make sure the position is correct first. I'm locked in, and then everything moves together. Again with the squats. Always with the squats. Feet are engaged, my toes are grabbing the ground. Nice and even. Sitting back into my hips and driving forward to the top. I don't know how to count. I'm just moving. All right. Hopefully my last set of pull-ups. Just moving through now, 5 minutes to go. I already feel worked out. My muscles feel used. It's all extra credit at this point. Everything's extra. So you get a little bit stronger. Still focused on stability, still locking things in. Still breathing. Four minutes to go. All right. 5 rows on each side. Quality rows, there's only 5. Let's make them work. Creating that tension on both sides, locking in that opposite shoulder, maintaining through my core. Try to keep it as even as you can. Great. Still more time. So do a few more pull-ups. All the way up, all the way down, all the way back, all the way forward. Engage top to bottom. Driving through everything at once. All those joints are moving together. 2 minutes, should be the last round here. One last time. All right, again, still quality. Just a few more, let's make them tough. "90 seconds. Last set of push-ups. We got one last minute. Last set of squats. Side. 30 seconds to go. We can get that extra credit here. Don't stop till we're there. Come on, 10 seconds. Last few reps. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoa, Daddy. That was excellent. 20 minutes. Definitely tested your work capacity, tested my work capacity, I'll tell you what. And I think you did great. I don't care what anybody says. Stick around for the cool down, and thank you very much. All right, that was fun. This is the cool down. We're gonna get into a world's greatest stretch here. Hit a little bit all around your legs, hit a little bit of your hips, up and down the chain there. We're gonna start out with a nice wide base. There was no time in between that workout and me doing this, so I'm still feeling it. Starting with a wide base here, we're gonna shift your feet one way, and you kind of walk that back foot out just a little bit, give yourself some of that lateral, that side-to-side stability. And we're gonna reach your hands down to the front and start working in to that hip flexor on that left side. Drop your hips down, shift, we can face the knee. Take a big deep breath. We can face away from the knee. Take a big breath. Try to get that elbow down to the ground if you can on the inside. Again, we're breathing. We can kind of shift around in that front foot a little bit. We can reach up to the sky on a nice straight line, one hand to the other. Straight spine. We're rotating through. And again, my abs are still tight up front there, holding that in place. I'm going to bring this top hand down on the other side of that front foot. So I should be straddling. I should have one hand on one side of the foot, one hand on the other. And I'm going to shift forward again here. I really want to try to be able to push a little bit deeper. Maybe push on that front, on the front of your foot and kind of stretch your calf, that ankle a little bit more, or drop that back, that other side hip down, and kind of rotate it. All right, so from there, we're gonna try to kick our hips back, straighten out that front leg. You can adjust where this back foot is. You can also drop to a knee and straighten that leg if it's a little bit more comfortable for you. But from here, again, our chest is tall, our hips are shifted back. I really want to connect to that hamstring here. If I can walk my hands across my leg and kind of twist myself here, twist into that side, I can feel that stretch a little bit more on the outside of that IT band, on the outside of my hamstrings. And then I'm gonna walk my hands back to the front here, and I can slowly shift myself away to that back side again. We get this nice deep lateral lunge, get those adductors, that groin muscle. Keep your chest tall, kind of push this knee out a little bit. And then we're gonna shift, and we're gonna repeat that whole thing on the other side. So again, I can adjust that back leg. I wanna make sure I have that lateral stability. I'm gonna start out with both hands on the inside here, driving in, trying to keep my chest tall, keeping that back knee up if I can, keeping those muscles involved. And again, I can twist, rotate in, drop that hip a little bit. I can rotate out. I can think about dropping that elbow down on the inside, really rotating through. Reach up nice and tall. Straight line, one hand to the other. My abs are tight, my back is straight. You can bring that hand on the other side of my foot and try to drop in a little bit deeper. And again, I'm really pushing forward on this front leg, trying to stretch the bottom of that calf, get some of my ankle. I can kind of shift around and kick back, or take that knee if I need to. Again, I'm gonna try to keep my chest up and try to keep my back straight. I'm gonna walk myself to the other side of that foot. Take a breath, walk myself back to the front, and then slowly allow myself to drop into position. You can assist yourself with your hands as much as you like. But we want to drop as much as you can and drive that knee out. All right. That's it for today. Appreciate you working out with me, and I'll see you next time.